Welcome back. Let your body settle again into stillness. Close your eyes and let the present moment dissolve. We are returning to the banks of the Nile. In our last journey, we witnessed the birth of the land and the unification of the two crowns. Tonight, we move forward in time. We enter the 3rd millennium BC. Historians call this the Old Kingdom. But to the people living then, it was simply the time of stability. The chaos of the early wars is forgotten. The land is unified under a single divine ruler. It is a time of peace. A time when humanity decided to leave a mark that would last forever. Tonight, we explore how they lived, how they wrote, and how they began to turn stone into eternity. Breathe deeply and step into the quiet streets of the past. Visualize the map once more. The Nile flows steadily north, a blue vein of life in a golden desert. In this era, the climate was slightly wetter than it is today. The edges of the desert were savannas, where gazelles and antelopes still grazed. But the heart of civilization was the valley. This was not the land between the rivers like Mesopotamia. This was the land of the river, singular, absolute. The isolation was perfect. To the north, the sea. To the east and west, the burning sands. To the south, the rocky cataracts. Egypt was a massive oasis, protected from the outside world. Inside this bubble, life became predictable. The sun rose, the sun set, the river flooded, the river receded. This repetition created a deep sense of security in the Egyptian mind. They believed the world was perfect, created by the gods, and their only job was to maintain it. Let us drift down from the map and hover over a small village. History often speaks of kings, but the backbone of Egypt was the farmer. The Fellahin. Imagine a typical day. It begins before dawn. The air is cool. Mist clings to the water. A family wakes up in their home built of sun-dried mudbricks. These bricks are thick, keeping the house cool during the scorching day and warm at night. Breakfast is simple. Bread baked from emmer wheat, onions and garlic, and thick, nutritious beer, which was safer to drink than standing water. There is no money, no coins clinking in pockets. Everything is barter. I will give you 3 sacks of grain for that linen cloth. It is a life of community. If the canal needs digging, the whole village digs. If the harvest is good, the whole village celebrates. Children play naked by the irrigation ditches, chasing ibises. There is hardship, yes, but there is no loneliness. Follow the river north to the great capital, Memphis. Here, the energy changes. This is the administrative heart of the Old Kingdom. The streets are narrow and shadowed. The air smells of cedar wood, brought all the way from the mountains of Lebanon. It smells of incense from the distant land of Punt. Workshops line the alleys. Listen to the rhythmic tapping of copper chisels. Tap, tap, tap. Craftsmen are carving stone vases from alabaster. Jewelers are stringing beads of turquoise and lapis lazuli. The river is the highway. Boats with square sails drift by, heavy with limestone blocks or sacks of grain. This network of trade connected the deep African interior to the Mediterranean coast. And at the center of it all, sitting in the palace, was the pharaoh. Not just a king, but a living conduit to the divine. To manage this wealth, Egypt needed memory. And memory is kept by writing. In a quiet courtyard, a man sits cross-legged. His kilt is stretched tight across his knees. He is a scribe. In Mesopotamia, they pressed wedges into wet clay, cuneiform. But here, in Egypt, they had a different technology. Papyrus. Imagine the texture of the paper, fibrous and dry. The scribe holds a thin reed brush. He dips it into a cake of black ink made from soot and gum. With a steady hand, he draws the symbols. A bird, a wavy line of water, a seated man. These are Medu Neger, the words of God. Hieroglyphs. Writing was not just for taxes, it was magic. To write something down was to make it true forever. To speak a name was to make it live. The silence of the scribe was the silence of power. For centuries, the kings were buried in simple mounds called mastabas, rectangular benches of mudbrick. But in the third dynasty, a genius named Imhotep changed the horizon. He looked at the mudbrick and imagined stone. He looked at the mound and imagined a stairway. we travel to Saqqara, the desert plateau overlooking Memphis. Here, Imhotep built the step pyramid for King Djoser. Visualize it rising layer by layer. 6 great steps of limestone reaching towards the sun. It was the first colossal stone building in history. This was not a ziggurat, which was a temple for the living to climb. This was a resurrection machine, a sealed engine designed to launch the king's soul into the stars. The era of the great stone monuments had begun. The desert would never look the same again. The sun begins to dip behind the new stone pyramid at Saqqara. The shadow stretches long across the golden sand. The scribes put away their brushes. The farmers return from the fields. Egypt is at peace. Stable, strong, eternal. But how did they maintain this order? What was the invisible force that held the stars, the river, and the people in balance? In our next journey, Episode 3, we will step inside the holy silence of the temples. We will discover the rituals and the profound concept of Ma'at, the cosmic truth. But for now, let the stone protect you. Let the river carry you. Sleep in the safety of the ages. Sleep.